Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the desert. Today we have a video about women ranting about dating, ranting about men not taking the extra mile, not putting in effort. So we're gonna take a look at that, and for our Reddit story, we have a woman asking a question. What are the green flags for men? What do men expect out of women? So we're gonna take a look at a few comments from men citing their top 20 green flags in women. No, I'm just kidding. There's no man on planet Earth that has a list with more than 5 items that he expects out of women. All right, men like this don't exist. Like, most of the times, men just want 2 things in a relationship. But before all of that, guys, before we get started, I want to ask you a question. This is a question for the men. If you are alone in a car, would you rather be with a woman driving or with a bear driving? And now, before you give me your answers, I don't want to influence your final result, your opinion, but statistically speaking, all right, according to scientists, bears are less likely to be involved in a car accident than women, all right? So, I mean, look, have whatever opinion you will, but the stats are all there. You know, the graphs are all there. Scientists have done their investigations. And bears just commit less accidents, car accidents, than women. So, hey, I'm choosing Team Bear here. But guys, enough about that. Let's get started with today's woman. Actually, this is not a sad video. Ampu was just practicing his violin skills. The good thing, you see Ampu here playing the violin, and you take it for granted. But for a dog to learn to play the violin, it's not actually easy. Like, he takes a few hours a day just to practice his skills, all right? And we caught him here. But now, enough about that, guys. Let's get started.
I just got home from a date. 2 hours. 2 hours of my life. 1 drink. Very tasty drink. 0 questions about myself. Can I tell you anything about the guy? Oh yeah, I can tell you a lot. Maybe more than his therapist. Here's the thing. There are a lot of debates out there about who should pay for the bill. Should we let him pay? Should we go Dutch? Let's talk about some dating etiquette that is not the bill. First thing, if you are a man going on a date with a woman, give her a flipping compliment. I don't care what it is. Your hair looks nice. Your outfit looks great. You tweezed your one eyebrow real well. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it looks like she is an ER nurse that pulled a double over Halloween on the Friday the 13th. Like, I don't care. You tell her she looks good. And you make sure you ask her something about herself. Now, if you're having a conversation and she asks you a question, volleying the question back to her and saying, "How about you?" That doesn't count as a question. Show a little bit more interest. If you met her on a dating app, ask about something in her profile. Like, literally ask her thoughts on daylight savings time. You know, I don't know why it's so hard for men to have conversations.
Well, I'll tell you why. That's why I'm here. We'll tell you why, me and the boys. Now, first things first, I absolutely agree with this woman. It's, you know, it sucks to go on a date with somebody who is self-centered and is only there strictly for his interests and doesn't care about you. It sucks. It's a bad experience for both men and women. And this is why, right? It's bad for men as well. You don't like it when men go to a date and they don't ask you one question, they don't say one thing about you. Yet, how do you think men feel when we have these women on the channel that constantly speak about themselves? Me, I want this, I want that, I demand, I need, I require from men. And they spend like 4 minutes of a video talking only about themselves, about what they want, about what they deserve, about what God should give them. And they don't stop to think for 10 seconds what would men maybe want out of me or out of a relationship, right? So I feel like finally a woman might understand how it sucks for us as well. But yes, we understand you. It's not a good thing. And look, you don't like it, yet I'll tell you why this happens. Because every guy who is on dating right now has had a period in the beginning where he was traditional. He was asking, because this is what she wants, a traditional man, you know, the usual, make her compliments, ask her questions, pay attention to detail, the traditional man. The reason why men are not like this anymore is because, as I mentioned, every guy who has started like this has quickly learned that that is not how you date. Every man who is bitter and resentful about dating and wants to get S3X in the fastest way possible has started by asking these women their favorite colors, by talking about the weather, by asking them about their interests. And you know what happens with those guys? Nothing. Nothing happens. They just pay hundreds of dollars to go on dates where they think that they're reaching something, and then later on they find out that this woman was dating 6 other men at the time. And because the other men were actually, you know, working towards what they wanted, which is spreading their legs, they got it much sooner, right? And because these guys were out here asking her favorite color, some other men got to spread her legs. It's just how it is, guys. Like, asking about favorite colors, sadly, doesn't work in today's day and age, especially on dating apps, right? So this is why. I mean, you women are the ones who have stopped caring about chivalry, about traditionalism, about courtship periods, and all that. It's just not how dating works anymore. So you are the one to blame for it. I mean, there are still guys out there that are doing this, and you just don't pay attention to them, right? But now, guys, let's continue, and we'll see along the line.
And it kind of makes me sad. Like, are men just not feeling like they have a platform to express themselves? Because I'm pretty sure that's what the internet is. And I see a lot of it. And yet I still feel that when I am going on dates or friends of mine are recounting their experiences, it's just a whole lot of listening just to be heard. And that's not why we're out here. You know, we're out dating, trying to get to know someone for the sake of finding someone to share our time and our energy with. And I am just so exhausted and hungry. And I did not eat on this date, in part because I knew that if I ate, I'd have to stay longer. So I feel bad for admitting that, but I don't know. I was not interested for a myriad of reasons. And I know it's tough out there for guys too, but I had to get on here and rant because it just seems like such low-hanging fruit, like such etiquette to just ask somebody a question about themselves. I feel like that's one of the first things you learn. I don't know, maybe in like elementary school or middle school, like, hey, you're making a new friend, ask them what they like to do after school, ask them what sport they like to play, ask them what they like to draw, you know, like what's their favorite color crayon. Where did this basic skill get lost?
Well, as I mentioned, gentlemen, it's not lost, it's just not useful anymore. If you as a man apply this, in general dating, I'm speaking, it just won't work, alright? It's just not gonna happen. Now, I have to say, I'll give this woman the benefit of the doubt that she is traditional, because apparently she's looking for traditional men. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt that she is traditional and hasn't been sleeping around with all these men she criticizes. Mostly because, I don't know, she doesn't seem like that type of woman. And if you are traditional, right, which could be just because she speaks in a nice tone, like someday I might get a serial unalive psychotic woman, and just because she speaks with a nice tone and doesn't shout and yell at the camera, I'll say, oh, what a nice girl. regardless of all of that, I know it's hard for you, but it still is way more easier than for men. Like if you don't like this and you're out here ranting, you don't like dating, think about how is it for men, because you are a young and attractive woman, and even if you meet all these guys who just want the S3X, because this is what this guy wants, like he doesn't want the questions, he just wants to sleep with you, right? And so even so, you can dodge your way into a good relationship as a woman, right? Because there is a demand for women that is way higher than for men. So even though it sucks, even though you have all these men that are red flags and just want to use you for your body, you can still just dodge them if you have what it takes to discern between good and bad men, and you can manage to find a successful relationship as a good woman. As a good man, the chances drop significantly, right? Even if you dodge all the baddies, you dodge all the red flags, you pick only good women, the chances are just way lower. But now, guys, let's finish the TikTok and move on to the next one.
Anyway, if you're out there on the dating apps, I see you. I hope somebody asks you a question about yourself and that conversation flows easily, and that you don't even notice that somebody didn't ask you anything about yourself, because it flows so smoothly, because that's the dream. And I've had it before, and I'm hoping it'll happen again. So that's that. I'm gonna go eat some.
Well, here ends the TikTok, guys. I just wanted you to see it. What a wholesome video, eh? No shouting, no yelling, no red flags, just a woman discussing with all of us. But don't you think, gentlemen, that I'm getting soft? Alright, what I have prepared for you is 4 minutes of... I couldn't make sense of this, alright? You tell me if you can. But don't you think that I'm getting soft, guys? Here come the red flags, here come the nuisances, here comes everything bad. Let's get started.
Let's talk about dating. Let's talk about dating. Let's. So here's the thing. It seems to me that there's a lot of shit out there that encourages serial monogamy, which, for your, if you didn't know, is an actual psychological term for an unhealthy pattern of relationships. So here I am. I like to date. I like to go out, meet people, spend some do shit with them, have fun with them. I don't want to commit to somebody unless, like, I've got to know them.
Alright. So she tells to all of us that serial monogamy is a psychological condition, a negative one, and then she went on to say that she loves it, and she actively does it. Right? Make it make sense. Oh no, she will say, Hidan, I actually said, that serial monogamy is a red flag, but only when you commit, and because I don't commit, haha, I'm all fine. It's the same thing. This is something that a lot of these women will tell you. They go out and they say, oh, I've never been in a relationship, I'm 27 and I've never been in a relationship. I'm so innocent, I'm so pure. And then you check on their dating history and they've went on like 200 dates. They've slept with 50 men. They've told I love you to 40 guys and they've received it back 30 times. They've went on vacations with these guys. They've went to clubs. They've flirted with everybody. What's the difference? Oh, but there's no commitment. Like it makes a difference, You've been with all these men. Oh, she's not a serial monogamous. She's just a serial 304. Oh, all right then. Well, what a green flag then. You know what I mean, guys? And I hear you say, oh, Hidan, but I don't want a wife like this that has been messing around, spreading her legs for all the chads, dating multiple men at a time with no pair bonding ability left in her 30s. I don't want a woman like this. I mean, yeah, guys, but she hasn't committed to all those chads. Oh, all right then. Well, let me wife her up. Jeez.
Like, I'm not going to say after a couple of dates, oh, yes, you're the one. But the men out there, they either think that's what you want to do, like they're 2 dates in and they go, oh, dear, and you're like, no, I just want to, you know, I don't know, we've had a good couple of dates, but I don't fucking know you. Or they're pushing for that relationship within the oh, we get on really well, let's give it a go, shall I change my Facebook? Oh, if anyone says that to me, I'm like, no. But seriously,
you often hear women whining about how men just want one thing and it's disgusting, right? And how men just want to use us, they only care about S3X. Yet, how many times, guys, if you watch this channel regularly, so many women say that there are men who are pushing for relationships. So they also get that. Yes, there are a lot of men who want only S3X. But there are men who want relationships, even with a massive red flag like you. Alright, there are men like this. So what? Why are you single? Because they want to be. There's no shortage of good men out there. They just want to be single.
but serial monogamy, it's one, like, does anybody actually take a fucking breath to go, why didn't that work? I quite like being on my own rather than fucking around with a veneer of a relationship. I don't want to be with somebody who just has a priority of having a relationship over the priority of wanting to be with me. Like, kind of fucking shit is that? And they're pushing it. Like social media, like, oh, you have to have a break, but you can't have too much of a break. You have to be in a relationship, but you have to, oh, it just has to be held. Like, bullshit. Like, if I get into a relationship, I agree to be in a relationship, it's because I think that this person has something about them that I can really see us building. The communication is good. It's not all about the fucking relationship. It's about them. It's about me. It's about me supporting them supporting me. Oh, but Jesus, there are so many. Well, there's not so many. They're frightening. Serial monogamists. They're the ones who, like, they'll get into a relationship. It'll last, 6 months, a year, maybe a year and a half. And for whatever reason, it's usually quite late. It just didn't work. It didn't work. You didn't give it a chance to work out whether you were going to actually, but it's more, they're more the interest of being in a relationship. They don't take a breath to be on their own. It's like, oh yeah, because I like being with somebody. I like the peace of being with somebody. I want somebody to show me how they find peace so I can sit in my own space and go, oh, that's another nice way of finding peace. Somebody who'd kick me up the arse and go, do you know what, you need some alone time, rather than, oh, let's do something together, let's do everything, we're going to shop, we're going to eat, we're going to walk, we're going to exercise, we're going to do everything together. No, we're not. We're going to grow next to each other.
Alright, now I get it. So what this one wants is a relationship like two trees in a forest. They don't interact, don't speak, don't look, don't nothing. They just grow next to each other like plants, This woman, guys, she says, well, I don't want no commitment. I just want to go on dates for fun. I mean, yeah, what about the men? Men don't want this kind of fun you're mentioning. Like, the reason why men are there is because they want something out of you. Whether that be a relationship for some inexplicable reason or S3X. If they wanted to have a good time, they'd just go out with their friends, right? I mean, guys, when I have a good time, maybe I'm the odd one out, but when I want to have a good time, I just go out with my buddies. I don't go out with a female stranger. Like, even if for some specific reason I wanted to be with female company, I'd just go out with my female friends, not with a stranger. Like, these men obviously are not there to just have fun, because they will be in a bar drinking beer otherwise. Right? They are there because they want something out of you, which you clearly don't care about. It's easy to sit there and say, well, I just want the fun. I don't want no commitment. Yeah, it's fun for you because you're not paying. I can guarantee that this woman doesn't split the bill.
Serial monogamy. Veneer. Everything in society is about veneer.
Also, what is veneer? Veneer. I don't know what's that.
Veneer. I have a relationship. I just don't want to be with somebody who is more in love with the idea of a relationship, is with me because they're scared to be alone. And I just happen to be a good filler. No. Oh, they're serial monogamous. They frighten me more than any other kind of unhealthy behaviour.
Well, if they frighten you, don't look at yourself in the mirror, because you're gonna get a jump scare, because you are a serial monogamer. Now, one thing I agree with this woman is that serial monogamy is an oxymoron. Like, monogamy is defined by being with one person, yes, at a time. But when you extend being with one person at a time throughout the, a period, it just becomes a very similar thing to polygamy. Now, yes, you are technically not being with multiple people at once, even though, mind you, a lot of these women are dating multiple men at a time. But when you get to being with 50 people, I really don't care if they're all together at once or separately. You have decreased your pair bonding ability. Like, there are so many studies out there that prove that with each new person that you decrease your chances of succeeding with them. So there's that, guys. But I love this comment that is left on this woman's video. Here it is. It's by Wukioni78 with a picture of Eddie from Iron Maiden. So he has a great taste in music, I should say. But he says, so guess we're not getting married. I mean, I've seen 5 of your TikToks now. This is just hilarious. How many times, gentlemen, are you watching these videos and 10 seconds into the TikTok, you're already thinking to yourself, all right, there's no way on earth that I'm dating this woman or touching her with a 10-foot pole, right? They expose themselves with these TikToks as so chaotic, so insecure, and such red flags that honestly, you don't need anything more. Like, we have to thank them for the service they're doing of showing the whole world how big of a red flag they are. But now, gentlemen, let's move on to our Reddit story. And it is a woman asking, men, I would love to know what are the green flags in women that make you want to commit to her rather than just keep her around, as some men would say, and what are the red flags? So are you ready, guys, for the long lists? Let's check them out. The first guy here says, it's simple for me. If she genuinely puts in some effort and cares for me, 90% of the time, if she shows she cares about me, I instantly care much more about her. 2 lines, eh? When are you going to ask a woman about her preferences in men and get a response in 2 lines? So there's that, and it's true that men require a little and reflect a lot. And so one person says, what does caring about look like? And here is a reply. For me and my friends who've had similar discussions, it's the same things you'd like a man to do for you. Had a long day at work and coming home to a nice cooked meal, a hug and a beverage of choice waiting for them. Buy a man some flowers and he will become putty. Now, flowers, let me tell you guys, flowers are like the cherry on top of the cake. Men don't require this. The way men feel when you give them something, anything, it's like not only receiving a salary, receiving a bonus to the salary for outperforming, and then receiving another bonus to that bonus for being handsome. All right, like, this is how men feel when you give them about anything. They just feel like this whole big thing happened. Literally run a bath for him, put the towel in dry for 5 minutes while they shower so it's extra warm. Tell him how much you enjoy his company. If he seems down or upset, recognize this and try to distract him for a bit. Don't pester the solution or problem. One that stands out for me personally was an ex of mine used to wake up 15 minutes before me to make me a coffee before I'd start my morning routine. She'd be back asleep before I'd wake up. Now, most of these things, this guy is still keeping it single, like, these are small things. But I tell you what, guys, most men, they don't even think about this. Like, they don't need it. Yes, they enjoy it when it happens, but they don't need it at all. Like, this is a bonus to a bonus, right? But still, he's keeping it single. And he finishes with, men are just as complex as women when it comes to it, but we all like the same things. This is just not the case. Men are not as complex as women, not by a stretch of the imagination. Men are so much simpler, and you can tell that because, as I mentioned, you can do these things for a man and he will still enjoy them, but if you don't do them, he won't care at all. Like most men, when you provide them with the basic essentials, which I could summarize in being friendly, S3X, and being feminine, when you do these three things, he really doesn't need anything else. Like, you can run years at a time the relationship without him feeling any need outside of these three. While women, you can provide them with companionship and friendship and loyalty and, you know, providing and protecting. But if you don't give them a compliment, for example, they will notice that, right? And it will make them upset or sad. It doesn't go for men, at least from what I have noticed. Leave me your opinions. Or if you don't gift a man flowers or gifts, he really wouldn't care if he receives friendship and loyalty and S3X. If, however, you don't gift flowers to a woman on a specific date, she won't feel good about it, right? So, no, men are not as complex as women, nor are they as needy. But another comment here says, good communication, no silent treatment. Guys hate silent treatment. And I've asked women, like, why do you do this? Because on this planet, on this whole earth, there are two types of people who give the silent treatment. Some women and children under the age of 7. All right, there are just no other people who do this. So make of that what you will. The silent treatment is so immature, it's so stupid. And I've asked women, why do you do this? And they say, well, because I've told him many times and I don't want to repeat myself. And while I get that it's annoying to keep repeating yourself, still, how do you solve the problem by giving him the silent treatment? Like, women really think that they will give the cold shoulder to their husbands, and after not speaking to him for 5 hours, the answer will just pop in their husband's minds, right? Oh, now I get it. No, now she's giving me the silent treatment, so the answer is gonna magically pop into my head in 30 minutes. No, when you women do that, the way guys react is by retrospecting the previous 2 years of problems in your relationship and try to, you know, Sherlock Holmes his way out of the problem by investigating and coming to the conclusion, which they never do. Continue with the comment, no nagging. This is also a female favorite. Actually communicating when something is bothering her. I think you're asking the impossible. Listens to me and my issues, able to handle conflicts, etc. Good chemistry, similar interests, similar humor, similar perspective on life, able to voice her opinions even when they don't align with mine. So I will summarize this good chemistry as femininity, you know, especially the similar perspective on life. I think that when a woman is feminine and a man is traditional, things just work out. Looks attractive to me. So this could be the fit slash, you know, attractive, you know, the fit, friendly and feminine. So this is the feminine and this is the fit one. Have a generally positive view on life. This could be the friendly one, I say. Like, you see, these guys are using a lot of words, but it really boils down to some really simple things. Want to open up to me and share her problems and insecurities. I like helping people and sharing stuff like this. Makes me feel closer to the person. It gives me something I can try and help with. And it also makes me feel less wrong with my own insecurities. Yeah, men like to feel needed. And here's another one. Greens. Notice how the list is 5 items. Yeah, there's no guy here. They use a lot of words, mind you. They just don't use, I don't know, 46 items. Greens, peace, genuine interest, reciprocity, loyalty, and accountability. That's it. This guy didn't even mention attractive because a lot of men just find attractive a lot of women, and that's it. But, you know, peace, this could be part of femininity. Genuine interest, femininity as well. Reciprocity, this could be maybe be attributed to friendly. Loyalty, I mean, this is part of femininity as well as friendly. Accountability, you know, all these things, guys. We'll stop reading here because I think the video is quite long already. But, you know, all these things, they are quite simple and they are achievable, right? And they are you know, they're specific. Like, you read good communication, and he even puts in brackets what he means, right? You can read this and you can work on this, you can understand this, you can see why you don't have this in your relationship, for example. When women make their list, guys, they just, not only do they cite 46 things, but they're also so vague and unspecific that there's no real way of actually understanding what they mean. So I wanted to share this with you guys, and I want you to tell me what are your non-negotiables or green flags or expectations when it comes to women, right? But guys, thank you for watching today's video. I'll be glad to hear your read your comments, and I'll be happy to see you next time. Have a good one.